Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce my team. We are from Group 2 and I am Jumaria Amanda as moderator, and they are Rahel Mendrova, Jessica Anastasia, Fadil Akbar, Muhammad Aquila, and Afdalas Zibra Fahrizki as presentator. Today, the topic of our presentation is combustion process in the recovery boiler. Okay, let's move on to the first presentation. I will explain about definition of recovery boiler. The recovery boiler is the most important and most expensive part of the crop recovery process. This is where the organic matter dissolved during pulping is destroyed and its energy value is recovered. This is where sulfides are formed and inorganic chemicals are recovered for use. Recovery boilers are an integral part of the steam and power balance in a plant. The economic viability of the plant is highly dependent on the efficient and reliable operation of the recovery boiler. Recovery boilers accomplish three main tasks. Burning black liquid recovers inorganic chemicals for use and produce superheated steam. The recovery boiler consists of a water-valve furnace where black liquid combustion is conducted, followed by a series of heat traps where hot combustion gas and cold and superheated steam is produced. To understand any combustion process, it is important to understand that complete combustion requires an adequate supply of air and adequate degree of mixing between the combustible material and the air. Temperature high enough for the reaction to occur, and contact time at a temperature sufficient to allow combustion to occur. Reaction to rest completion. These are the classic three T's of the combustion process. The first one, time. Smell burning time. The second, temperature. The temperature required to change the smell to the dissolving time. And the last one, turbulence or air. The faster it is, the faster the water will head. Next, an explanation of the process steps per turn on the furnace, increasing the temperature of the furnace will be explained by Rahel Mendrova. Rahel, please welcome.
Okay, I'm Rahel Mendrova and I'm going to explain the second part, which is the process stage. The first is to do is turning on the furnace and increasing the temperature of the furnace. Furnace is a combustion tool in the boiler recovery process. The furnace is turned on by flowing fuel in the form of liquid or gas until it reaches a temperature of 200 up to 300 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the black liquor is flowing slowly until the black liquor turns into smell. This process is carried out until the temperature reaches the maximum level or in the range of 1000 up to 1200 degrees Celsius. Once the temperature has reaches the desired level, the fuel flowing into the furnace is stopped and the black liquor that is flowing is slowly opened completely so that the combustion process is maximum and more efficient. That's all the explanation for me about turn on the furnace and increasing the temperature of the furnace. Thank you.
Thanks to Rahel. Next slide of the process stage per black liquor burning will be explained by Afdalas Zibra Fahrizki. Afdalas, please welcome.
Okay, thanks to moderator. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Afdalas Zibra Fahrizki, and I will explain to you about what is exactly happened to the black liquor in the furnace section in the recovery boiler. So basically, the burning of black liquor is take places in the furnace section. The furnace section or the furnace cavity can be considered to be the part of the water wall enclosure extending from the hard tip of the nose arch. The nose arch acts as a shield for the superheater section and helps turn the furnace gases so they pass through the superheater in a more or less cross flow pattern. The furnace can be divided into the lower furnace and an upper furnace based on the function that occur. The lower furnace is where liquor is sprayed in and then the combustion air is introduced and then charbet accumulate and smell is formed to the smell is formed out and drained out of the unit. The upper furnace area provide resident time to complete combustion and surface area to cool combustion gases. Traditionally, the tertiary air level was considered the boundary between lower furnace and then upper furnace. Combustion air also entered the furnace through ports located on the walls making up the furnace cavity. There is a considerable variability in how air is introduced. The lowest air level is called primary air. Primary air enters close the heart from the all four walls. And then the second is the secondary air is located on two walls or all four walls, and there may be more than one level. And then the tertiary air level is introduced above the liquor guns, normally on either a two-wall interlaced pattern or concentrically. I think that's all from me. I will give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thanks to Abdallas. Next slide of the process stage part in organic chemical recovery will be explained by Jessica Anastasia. Jessica, please welcome.
Hello, my name is Jessica Anastasia. Now I want to continue the present about inorganic chemical recovery. The inorganic chemicals in the black liquor, they are sodium, potassium, sulfur, and chlorine, are recovered as a molten salt mixture called smell. It consists primarily of natrium sulfate and natrium chloride with a small amounts of the natrium sulfur and other materials. The natrium sulfate, which is necessary for the kraft pulping, requires a local reducing or oxygen deficient environment. The effectiveness of the recovery boiler in the reduction efficiency in producing this desired chemical is measured by reduction efficiency. The inorganic chemicals are much heavier than the combustion gases and tend to fall toward the earth. Not all of the inorganic chemicals process directly to the earth. Some of it forms a fine dust consisting primarily of natrium sulfide with some natrium chloride, which flows with the flue gases. This is collected in the electrostatic precipitator and returned to the black liquor being fired. In addition, some inorganic collects on heat transfer surface and is removed by soot blowers. This material either falls directly to the earth or is collected in ice hopper and returned to the black liquor.
Thanks to Jessica. Next slide of the combustion of black liquor will be explained by Fadil Akbar. Fadil, please welcome.
Okay, I will explain material about combustion of black liquor. Black liquor combustion occurs either as a droplet sprayed to the furnace from a liquor can or in the char bed at the bottom of the recovery boiler furnace. Black liquor is sprayed into the furnace through a number of liquor guns. In many combustion applications, the aim is to produce very small droplet to maximum combustion rate and temperature. Black liquor is not finely uh, automation, automized as it enters the furnace. Rather, black liquor is sprayed as coarse droplets. The first, drying. Drying is characterized by evaporation of water from the black liquor droplet. It is often experimentally defined by absence of combustion visible flame. Ex- Evaporation of water requires heat. Drying of black liquor droplet process as fast as the heat is transferred to the droplet. Even in the furnace temperature, drying is limited by the heat flux to the droplet. The second, devaporation. Devapolization. As the black liquor dries and temperature increase reaction with lowest activation energy starting place for organic fuel, release of low salts as methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfides, hydrogen carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, like hydrogen, tar, and like sulfur containing gas have been uh, have been reported to be mine product gas during the evaporation. Devolatilization. Devolatilization is characterized by the increase of black liquor droplet volume, release of volatile gas from the black liquor droplet, and a price of visible flame here last tone is the most typical criteria for determining the lack of evaporation time in experimental droplet combustion studies. The dirt char combustion. Char combustion is black liquor starts as the volatile release is finished. Often the combustion material remaining at the volatile release is termed fixed carbon. Fixed carbon does not include inorganic ash. In laboratory test char combustion start when the visible flame is extinguished. In practice char combustion and the evaporation overlap considerably, often a term organic combustion time is used to characterize combustion. The fourth, uh, the fourth smell reaction. As the char combustion is finished, in the inorganic residue remains. He black liquor droplet has first elegant and the suck to a liquid droplet. If oxygen content smell, the sulfate in smell is reoxide to sodium sulfide and Na2SO4. In recovery boiler, it is important to have a non-reacting material on top of smell to avoid smell reaction. Thank you. I return it to the moderator.
Thanks to Fadil. The next slide we will show a video about boiler working. Will be explained by Abdalas. Abdalas, please welcome.
Okay, thanks to moderator. I will explain about the video of boiler working animation. So as you can see at the video, the first draft fan blows air into the system. A person is routed to the pulverized blow which crash. For the fine dust, before pushing the mixture up through the feeder tubes, the other person passes through the air preheater, which transfer heat from the exhaust gases to the incoming, raising the air temperature, reducing moisture, and production cleaner burn of the hot fall started in the cold dust, converging in the wind box where the mixture is blown out. Through the burners and ignited inside the firebox, transferring radiant heat to the water-filled tubes. The hot gases flow upward, eating the rest of the system through the convection before passing through the air preheater and ultimately flow into the scrubber where pollutants are. And liquid water is pumped into the system at the economizer. Gradually, it's heated to this temperature before gathering at the steam drum, the system main distribution hub for circulating water and steam through the boiler liquid water flow to large tanks, hammers, and into the base of the firebox. A network of 2-inch tubes line at the firebox wall, and burners force feed a continuous supply of combustible fuel into the ultra-hot firebox. Eventually, the inside of the firebox burns so hot that its surrounding steel walls would melt. Or if not for the tube line walls is liquid water. At the point in the cycle when the liquid water turns to steam and the steam separates all and collect at the top of the steam drum. Because this saturated steam still contains small amount of liquid water that would cause corrosive damage to the turbine. The saturated steam is routed back to the firebox through superheats to burn off all but the smaller traces of liquid. This dry, superheated steam then exits the boiler, passing through the steam locker and ultimately providing power for the spinning turbine, which generates electricity. Finally, exhaust steam, now at the lower temperature and the pressure, is sent back to boiler through the dedicated reheat stage. This reusable steam is brought back up to operating temperature before returning to the turbine, providing additional power through a secondary stage. I think that's all from me. I give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thanks to Abdalas. The next slide we will show a video about liquor system. Will be explained by Muhammad Aquila. Aquila, please welcome. Thanks to Aquila, the next slide we will show a video about fundamental will be explained by Rahel Mendrova. Rahel, please welcome.
Okay, next I will explain about video craft recovery boiler fundamental. The craft recovery boiler has many tubes located in the combustion gas tank. They collect the heat of combustion and convert the energy into steam by heating boiler feed water inside the tube. In the heat transfer section, there are three main sections of tubes: the superheater, the generator or boiler bank, and the economizer. Superheater is a place from drying steam because the steam coming from the steam drum is the will, so it cannot be used. The advanced heating process use a superheater pipe that is heated to a temperature of 260 to 350 degrees Celsius. With this temperature, the steam will become drum and can be used to drive turbines or for other equipment purpose. 2. Boiler bank. The function of the boiler bank is to absorb heat from combustion gases to convert hot water into hot steam. Economizer. Economizer's role is to help heat the feed water that will be used in the boiler. Feed water enters through the economizer and falls to the steam drum. The steam drum is a large cylindrical vessel situated horizontally across the boiler that acts as a reservoir of feed water, the boiler bank. The water wall tubes are part of the feed water circulation feed from the mud drum, the steam drum system. The steam drum is connected to the mud drum by multiple boiler tubes. The mud drum also provides the blowdown point where feed water impurities are continuously drained to the sewer through a small pipe. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thanks to Rahel, the next slide we will show a video about fireside. Will be explained by Jessica Anastasia. Jessica, please welcome.
Now I want to continue to the fireside of the recovery boilers video. The fireside of the recovery boiler is where the combustion of the strong black liquor and the chemical recovery process simultaneously take place. Strong black liquor enters the recovery boiler from the brown stock washer containing 65% to 85% dry solids. The recovery boiler uses strong black liquor as its main fuel and during normal operation function with black liquor as the only fuel. The cooking chemicals flow out the recovery boilers as molten salts or the smelt and are turned into green liquor in the dissolving tank. This green liquor is sent to the recasting process from conversion to white liquor.
Thanks to Jessica. Thank you all for listening our presentation today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.